Hello, buddy.
Hey Luke, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. You look well. I haven't seen you in ages.
It must be like 7 years or something.
I think so. I think so. I'll have to check the. I've been marking the days on the wall like a printer does in a cage. So days since Steele. So I'll check it when I get back.
Actually, it's probably more because I don't know if I've seen you since I've owned a child,
I
and
remember when you were
he's
shopping around.
and he's 6.
Was he born in the States?
Yeah,
All right, so he can't get deported. There's no. He
yeah,
stays.
no comment. So I think this is the podcast. I think it started.
I blame you for all of it, buddy. Once you got there, this is everything went to shit. So you gotta fix it. You gotta run for office.
I'm not allowed. I'm Australian.
That's the kind of attitude that will never get you elected, buddy.
Yeah, that's the sort of attitude I'm feeling at the moment. But the yeah, so the podcast has started, Luke, just so you know.
Okay, good to
The
be here. Jeremy.
so for several reasons that maybe we'll get into, maybe we won't. But I'm doing I'm contacting the the guests, or one guest from each of the first 10 episodes of the podcast I used to do.
Ah,
I
we'll check.
love green. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure why I'm doing this.
Are we all still alive? Are we all still kicking?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. That is definitely in the first 10. I was just thinking back. I was just like, oh my god, have we lost? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to think about it too much because it's very disrespectful if we have lost someone and I'm not remembering that. Do you know what I mean?
You'll have to do a 1 hour episode of just dead silence as a tribute.
Well, every year at the Oscars, they have oh, how did you forget, this guy? And it's like, how did you forget? But there's like 275 episodes that we did. So
yeah, it was massive. It went for ages.
So just to recap, I'm trying not to do any sort of official podcast start or anything, but for if you're coming in late, very late, I did a podcast called I Love Green Guide Letters, where we reviewed the letters to the television and radio lift out in the newspaper. And I actually listened to the first episode today with you. And it was way better than I would have expected.
It's aged like wine. That's great. If for anyone listening to this, I would say you really get the true experience if you listen to old, over 250 episodes. It's like the Marvel universe. You want to keep up with the continuity.
Exactly. Yeah. So I listened, and I thought it was going to be quite torturous. Like I wasn't looking forward to listening to it at all, and I felt like I had to, and I recorded a little thing because we're still, funnily enough, got like patrons on the Patreon.
Oh wow!
And so I thought I'll record a little thing for them, and then if people want to sign up, whatever, they can listen to that. So I listened to it, and it was actually quite good. Do you remember who it was with? Because this is a far bigger moment in my life than it is in yours.
Was it you, me, and Cody? I can't remember.
It was Harley.
Oh, Harley, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, huh?
And you thought it was going to be about we're going to make fun of environmental tips or something.
That's right, because it was called the Green Guide, and I thought you were gonna go after green energy or something. I'm like, no, don't do that. Or gardening tips.
Have you ever appeared on the cover of it later on?
I don't know. Maybe
did you get like a Rosehaven cover?
Rosehaven, I think, might have got a look in, but I'm not sure. Not that I know of. Possibly, Mum might have. Mum does a little. Mum takes out the cutouts and what do you call it? Scrapbooks them. So maybe I'll have to go have a look.
She's like an old school Google.
It's finished now, right? There's no more Green Guide.
No, they have the green guide, but they got rid of the letters like
The one
years
for
ago.
this.
Which I used to be quite confused about it, that they got rid of it, because it's just like, it's just free content. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are writing in.
Because your podcast, did that get a mention in the Green Guide, or there was some sort of full circle moment, wasn't there?
Yeah, no, many times. It turned into this, like, we had an article. It was very ironic, because we had an article in the Green Guide about the podcast, and in that issue there wasn't letters, and so the next week there was complaints that the article about the podcast that does the letters took the place of the letters.
You deleted your own content. You deleted your what feeds the podcast.
Yeah, and you don't want to think about it too much, because it's like the like the box of cereal, where you've got the box of cereal on the box of cereal, and then the boxes. Do you know what I mean? Like on the
it's a space-time continuum issue, I think. That
yeah,
you don't want to play around with. You don't want to mess around with that stuff.
But so you're in Melbourne. Are you in a hotel room right now?
Yes, I am.
And it's the first day of comedy festival.
It's my show starts tonight. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Dare I ask where it's at?
It's done, buddy. Because I haven't done one in 8 years. This one was ready to go, like in November or so. I was done.
Yeah, no, I don't mean where it's at, like where it's at, like in the production stages. Like, what venue is it at?
Oh, a comedy theatre, which is 1,000 seats.
How many nights are you doing?
2 weeks.
Do you think that's amazing?
I do now. No, I do. I'm very grateful. I fear it being taken away from me at any moment, but no, I'm very happy.
Where was your first comedy festival show at?
It was like a 26-seater at I can't remember, at one of the bars that's no longer a bar or something. And it used to be a strip club.
Oh yeah. That was I did one there. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it was James Squire or something for a little bit.
Yeah, it's called like the Locker Room or the Supper Room. I can't remember, but yeah, it was very, very different. Very different vibe. This is much nicer. And I have my own toilet. It's amazing.
Like, that's like staggering.
Yeah, it's
I don't want to vibe you out, but
no. I mean, look, to be full disclosure, I bought all the tickets myself. It's about optics, you know. You want to. It's blessed.
Well, just that on itself, it's impressive you could afford so many tickets.
Oh, I had to borrow. I had to go into debt, so it's. But it feeds the algorithm, and it'll lead to ticket sales in the future, I'm sure.
Oh man, don't get me started about the algorithm.
Man, my socials are feeding me some weird things at the moment.
The algorithm's a nightmare. The algorithm destroyed everything. I saw on Instagram the time lapse of you getting like a billboard put up, and it's very audacious, because it's normally an area that just has like AO sized rock posters, and you've put up, instead of just one poster, you've put up like 24 posters over the whole space.
I feel very bad if anyone's still doing a show. I'm hoping the reason they were able to do that was because those shows had finished. But I'll keep an eye on the inbox.
Yeah, the weird thing about being here in America and just being away from the comedy thing is it's freeing to be happy for people. I remember like when the comedy festival would start, and then like the gala, and then newspaper, there'd just be like all that the things would start, and it sort of
Yeah.
like it kind of like would denote the haves and the have-nots, because like you'd be doing gigs all through the year together, and then they would hit this thing, and it's just like, oh yeah, there's a definite divide here of
I agree because we're all doing the same spots, the same venues, and then all of a sudden we break off into our whatever we've got, and it's like an intense version of what I imagine Instagram is feels like. When you're seeing other people do other things, and they're like in a holiday or something, and you're like, oh, like it's a lot.
yeah, it's almost it's like all of a sudden you're like Charlie Bucket looking into the candy shop.
Who's Charlie Bucket? Should I know that reference?
From Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
Was his last name Bucket?
Yeah,
Did they use Bucket in the film?
I'm
Maybe
pretty
friend was.
sure.
Well, yes, it's exactly like that.
Which
But
like
you're in the the best place on earth for showbiz. You're where it all happens. It's
yeah,
I'm jealous of you. Huh?
oh, the best and the worst. Yeah, so congratulations on your giant billboard anyway that took over the
Thank you,
spaces for all those people.
thank you, buddy. I'm sure it's got a mustache and a Nazi symbol on my forehead now, but it was for that brief period. It was lovely.
Have you gone past it?
No, but I'm staying in a hotel just up from my venue, and my venue has a massive poster on its balcony roof. So it's every day I walk past it to get some bananas from the supermarket for brekkie, and it's a lot.
It is just insane. So you live in Newcastle now? Is that the deal?
Yep. Yeah, yeah. I love the sun. I love the beach. It was perfect for me.
You
Coastal city.
well, yeah.
Um,
I always just think of Silverchair when I think of Newcastle.
yeah, for anyone who's just listening to the audio of this, I'm very pasty white and have red hair, so I have to stay in the shade at all times. But it is nice. I didn't realize how neuro spicy I was until quite late in life. I'd always thought, and I've
How
always
what?
and I neurodiverse, neurospicy.
What does that mean?
Like how many things that I have, like OCD,
Oh,
autism, all the things.
got you.
So although I had been diagnosed through Facebook comments, I didn't listen, but they were right. So Newcastle, where we live, it's quiet. We can see water, and I bought a weighted blanket, and I am just so much happier and calmer in normal life because all my like sensory needs are being met, and then I can come back into Melbourne in the city and it's loud and it's fine because I know I'm going back to a quiet place. And
No,
um
really.
it's been really good. I didn't realize I needed it. But now that I've got it, I'm very, very, very happy.
And so you're married and with two kids, yeah? Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, with three kids now. Got a bub. So I got two stepkids and a 4 month old, 14, 10, and 4 months. Um, and I'm really excited when the baby's able to wipe their bum as well. And then it'll be a household of people wiping their own bums. That's the dream.
Really? So it's two stepkids.
Yeah, yeah, they're little legends. I was really worried that I'd love Amy, my wife, and I'd have two kids that sort of tolerated me or didn't like me. But my 10-year-old, he loves video games and superheroes. Perfect. And my 14-year-old, they love anime and horror films. Perfect. So all of my hobbies covered. I have. It was a very quick bonding process.
I don't want to overstep the personal questions.
No, you're a bit.
So just handle this however you want. But is the father still around?
Yeah, yeah. The the ex has them once every fortnight for one weekend. He has them Saturday to Sunday, like one night every fortnight, which was his choice. And I'm happy with it. It means I get the kids more. So, but it's awkward. We don't really have to see him that much. He just kind of picks them up and then drops them back off. So there's very little small talk. But I do delight whenever the kids tell me that he was catching up with his friend and they told him that that they're a big fan of mine. So I'm like, yes, sir, suck it. So it's awkward, but we don't really have to deal with each other, and we try and get along just so the kids, don't see us fight.
Yeah, right. Because I saw on Instagram, just funnily enough, like yesterday, Damien Power doing this bit about how there's competition between like the stepdad and the way he says it, like, oh, the real proper dad,
Yeah.
that. And it'd be really funny if he was the actual dad and
that'd be amazing. Yeah, I am very lucky that I'm in a completely different industry than the other dad. He's in graphic design or so. It's or something.
He could do your poster.
I guess he could do the poster. Yeah, true. I think he's more about buildings and stuff. He's not an architect. It's something, I don't know what it's called, but anyway, he yeah, I love that bit about it from Damien. It's weird. Like I call myself dad to the kids just because I don't want them to think that, like, I don't call myself stepdad. I just say dad just because I'm their dad. I'm just not their biological input.
Yeah,
so,
right. Well,
yeah.
That is delightful.
Thanks, buddy. Yes.
So how old were they when you met them?
3 years ago. So
this has gone on a completely different path than
it's more like just friends catching up, I suppose. 7 and 11. 7 and 11 when I was on the scene.
Yeah, got you.
That first meeting was very nerve-wracking. I bought them toys just to.
Oh, what toys?
Grease the wheels. Them big plushies of a character that I was told they liked. I'd been talking to them on the phone a bit, but that was the first meeting, so I made sure I had gifts. In fact, the whole first year was a lot of gifts. It was very hard to transition from fun friend of Amy's who just buys them things to I need you to clean your room. It's been I'm still working on it.
Wow, that's insane. And so 4 months old is your daughter, yeah?
My daughter is 4 months old, and she is currently not enjoying sleeping. She's like, it's overrated. I'm happy just to be up right now, and I can't do anything though, so I'll need you to pick me up and take me. So she's super cute and I love her, but it is I do miss sleeping all the way through. That was a real highlight of my 24-hour cycle for a while there.
Like the first 2 years, I just think you're at war.
Yeah, right.
You're just in Nam, and it's just like at any moment they can attack, and it's like enjoy the peacetime while you've got it. But during that time, I don't think it occurred to me that it would stop. Like I was just like, I am never sleeping ever again. This is it.
How old's yours now, Steele?
6.
Oh, is it at 6? Do they sleep all the way through? Are they?
Well, vaguely. They'll wake up once. Like he'll wake up and then get into our bed and then go back to sleep.
Yeah, right. Does he wake you up as part of that process?
Occasionally, and then sometimes it's just like a little prize in the morning. It's just like, oh, hi.
Yeah. Oh, hey, babe.
But it's one of those things where we're of the mind of like enjoy it while you've got it. Because
I agree. When they're 24. Right now, I'm worried that I agree. Right now, I'm worried that like I'm already thinking about the time when they won't want to chat to us anymore. They'll be like off at uni or whatever, and we'll be trying to call them, and they'll look at the phone and go, ugh. So I'll enjoy this period.
Yeah. So I like the teddy bear stage. It's good. It's good. But the like the alien that just arrived stage is like like hashtag blessed and all that. But it is brutal. It is.
Especially they find like they start to discover that they can move, and so I'll be carrying them very comfortably with one arm, and then they'll go, you know what, I'm going to do this, and you're like, ah, like it's very terrifying. So now I just like I just get duct tape and just tie them to me for the whole day. That's the easiest way to do it.
So I just want to go back. I am focused on this 1,000-seat thing. When you're at school and stuff, like,
Mhm.
you know, I imagine you were like kind of awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super awkward. Yeah, more awkward than I am now, huh? If that's possible.
And so how did you feel about that? Like the awkwardness, like being awkward, like
At school, um, I hated school. I wanted it to end immediately. I didn't like going. I used to pretend to be sick. I didn't have a good time all the way through. There was very little about it I liked, other than maybe playing with my friends at lunch. But even that, there were bullies. I didn't. School was not fun.
yeah, I was actually bullied like brutally for about 2 years. And it
Were
was
you
it
were you super tall at school as well, or
yeah, I was pretty sizable, but
you didn't have your six pack and your BJJ black belt back then, I suppose. So
I don't have a six pack or a black belt now. But anyway,
I know,
what I was
yeah, no, you
wondering,
want to keep. I get it. You want to keep the element of surprise.
yeah,
I get it.
the do you think about the irony that like you were awkward at school, and then you like move to Melbourne and turn pro, like you turn like because it's like your comedy is you talk about your awkward situations and like it's like you turn pro.
I think the biggest thing was I used to get teased for my like, and I can't help doing it. It's like a breath thing, but my awkward laugh at the end of sentences and stuff like that. I'd make a noise like, "Mm," and there was this bully that used to always call it out because I can't hear it. I know I do it, and I can hear it when I listen to myself back, but I can't hear it when I'm talking. And so, but that ended up becoming like my described by reviewers as like Luke's trademark giggle or something like that. Like it became a strength, which was lovely. It was like a really nice moment to hear that something that caused me so much anxiety at school was now something that people liked about my stand up. That was a very nice moment. And if my bully is watching, I won't say your name, but suck it, I win.
But it is like I don't know.
He's doing something pathetic now, like a pharmacist or a doctor. I can't remember, but he's doing very well. So, but yeah, no, it's been a lovely. All those things that made school hard have now made life later easier, which has been really nice.
How did you get into like? How did you start doing stand up down there in Tasmania?
Um, my housemate signed up to Raw Comedy, and I went along to support him, but I got pretty drunk, and someone hadn't shown up, so I got up as well, and it went well enough that I got hooked and just never stopped doing it. And that was when I was
No,
about 25.
so someone didn't turn up to Raw and you could just jump on.
Yeah, I asked, "Can I get up?" And they said yes.
Wow, God, that was more of
Uh,
an organic system because don't now you have to sign up like it's like
well,
6 months in advance and they have like 50 people on a day or something.
it was like a Tassie heat, so it
Got you.
wasn't as formal as maybe it might be on the mainland. They just had a spot for it. I'm like, please, please, please let me get up, and they said yes.
And so you had no material.
No, I had
Or
some
had you been
thought.
like secretly thinking about it and you had some stuff ready to go?
No, I had nothing. I just knew that I kind of knew that I was funny, or that I was the funny guy in my friendship group. And so I just tried to. So when I first got on stage, I just talked about how funny I was, and that you better put down your drink, you're going to spill it on yourself. And then that went really well. And then the remaining 3 minutes, I bombed horribly. But that first minute or so, where I was just having fun with the audience, went so well that I'm just like, this feels right. I'm going to write some jokes next time.
So when I met you, it was like my memory is that you and Cambo and Dan Taylor all moved up
Yeah.
at once. Is that right?
Yeah. I think so. I'm not sure if Dan moved up the exact same time as we did, but Dan was up here around the same time. Yeah. So it was a bunch of Tassie. It was me. It was Ted Wilson. It was John Campbell, Dan Taylor, um, Matt Burton. There
Oh
were a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
us that came up here. Yeah.
And did you all live in a house together or?
No, I lived. No, that's not true. Actually, I lived with Ted for quite a while. And then Cambo and I did a double act together before we did a solo show.
Did you?
Yeah, and we did like, I remember we had a venue that was like 70 seats. It's that, what's it called? It's called Catfish now. But it was this venue that was like 70 or 80 seats, and that one time we only had like four people in the audience, and we're like, we should cancel. And they're like, no, we want to watch it. So we just had to perform in front of like no people. It was, yeah. And flyering was brutal too, because you'd watch people take the flyer and then you'd see them put it in the bin. You're like, at least go around the corner first.
Yeah. Well, that was that was like an interesting thing I took to like Star Wars podcasting was I went to this convention and I thought I'd hand out flyers for my podcast, but I knew of the pain of seeing your flyer on the ground.
Mm.
So I made stickers and the stickers turned into a whole like bizarre thing. Like they got like quite famous. And
Oh wow.
I bet it was all driven from that pain of seeing your flyer on the ground
Yeah.
and just like going, I cannot deal with that. Like I'm at this Star
'Cause
Wars
you can't.
convention. I don't need like reminders of depression on the ground every.
And you can't do anything with a flyer. It's a weird bit of material that is an awkward height. You can't use it as a bookmark. Like it doesn't fit like a book would. A sticker or a fridge magnet or a bookmark, anything someone can go on to use is always better.
But when you first moved, you didn't do stand up with Cambo at the same time, yeah. Like you did spots separately.
We did spots separately, but we didn't think we'd be able to sell tickets, and we were right, to a solo show. And I don't know, it was a kind of a nice, easy way to ease into the
Yeah,
festival.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And we signed up, but then we would do, we wouldn't do festival managed venues or anything. But it was, yeah, it was. We did that for 2 years. I think we did two shows together.
And what were they branded as?
One of them was Luke Cambo, um, get all the bitches, which I deeply regret. And should I ever go into politics, I'm sure that'll come back to haunt me. And the other one was Luke and Cambo. I think it
Deeply
was just called
regret.
"Do a Show" or something, or just Luke McGregor would like Luke. Our next show was titled "Luke and Campbell would like to apologise for our last show's title, and we are really sorry. We were young, we were dumb." Um, yeah.
But do you remember like how did you find like I'm fascinated with people that move cities to like do stand I find it very brave. Like I sort of have a vague memory of you the first night all the Tasmanians were at Spleen. Like
Oh yeah.
do you have any memories of that?
I remember awkwardly trying to talk to you and Carl about a spot at some point, and then going to the other one that Tommy Dassolo ran, and Dan, what's that his last name?
Dan Moore. Dan Moore.
Dan Moore. Yeah, so it was though your venue, the Spleen, and that other venue, and I did a spot at Janet's, but I really wanted to get that sort of spot on the, like, Janet's was in St Kilda. It was a lovely room, but I really wanted to get in the CBD. And Yeah, I just remember months of just like going to the gigs and then trying to make all conversations to get up. I remember asking Carl, like, after like maybe 8 months, and he said, "Oh,
Really? That
you finally." It was, I can't remember how long it was, but I remember Carl saying something like, "Oh, you finally asked me about time." He's like waiting for me to ask him.
but was
Um,
Cambo doing gigs during then? Like,
I don't know. I think some of my friends had already started to get up, but I was yeah, I was really late. It took me a while to get the courage to sort of network to get into the scene.
yeah, the networking is like when I moved here, the thought of doing all that again, and just with the like the temperament here is so different. Like it's so, what can you do for me? Like because
It's
people
you
like
gotta, you've got to sell, right? Instead of like apologizing for your presence, it's almost like you got to sell. This is what I'll bring. If
well
you
it's just a different attitude because like you know I guess I was a bit more casual about it because it was just like in our hometown, so we were just doing a thing at night, and it was sort of more like, oh, this is fun, let's try get good at it. Whereas
Mhm.
when people, especially when they moved to like LA or New York, I'm going to the Olympics, and then it's like, do you know what I mean? It's so much more um like driven by aspiration rather than just like the act of doing it.
Yeah, well, America's the, like, the American stage is the world stage, really. Like it's I, f- I feel
Don't
like
don't
once you
don't get all Ronnie Chang on me, please.
but it is like it's the, I think Ronnie calls it the MVA. Like it is. It's the, like, that's where what's that song, you make it there, you make it anywhere, or something. Like it's true. Like it's
Oh yeah,
if you
yeah, yeah.
can, yeah. I think you're in the spot where it's it's the best place to make it. And
What is
I'm
that?
really, I feel really lucky in Australia that I've managed to cut out a spot here. Um, but Yeah, it's just such a big market there, you know.
Did you work here? Like, how did you make money when you were here? Like, I'm fascinated. Well, not when you were
I
here,
wo-
when you were in Melbourne, when you moved to
well,
Melbourne. Like,
I worked in a call center for a superannuation firm during the financial crisis, which was fun. A lot of apologizing, and then uh, and then I sort of slowly made my way up the ranks of the superannuation hierarchy. I became a data analyst, and then a senior performance analyst, and then I got a role in Utopia, and quit and said I'll give myself a year. I'd saved up about 10 grand, 15 grand, and I said I'll give myself a year to try and make this work, and if it doesn't work in a year, I'll go back to work. And I ate a lot
oh,
of
so you were still
peanut rice and
doing that.
peas.
So you're still like working at the superannuation when you got the job on Utopia.
Yeah, that was what made me quit, because I just couldn't get the time off. And so then that's when I sort of said, okay, I'll give myself a year, and if I can't make it work in a year, I'll go back to work. And took a, and maybe within about 7 months or so, I'd started to, like, okay, I can pay rent now. I don't have to worry as much about bills. It was kind of giving me just enough to sort of, I was earning enough to live off, and then slowly, and that was it. After that, I just never looked back. And now my resume's got such a big gap in it. I think I'd struggle to get another job in super.
Maybe the so how did you get that? Like, how did, because that's like are you of the generation of to get the tat from Working Dog is like that's the
Oh yeah, it was the best thing that's ever happened to me up until that point. Like I used to watch the Late Show with my friend in Tassie on repeat. And we quoted to each other. There was a sketch where it was just like when Rob Sitch and Santo played sports commentators.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, the Graham and the Colonel.
Graham and the Colonel, Graham and the Colonel. We would quote that to each other. So when I first got the job, it was because someone from Working Dog saw my stand up and said, "I think Luke would be good for the role." Like they've always got their feelers out for new people. And then yeah, that sort of changed my life. That it was the hardest part was when season three came around. I was touring, and I couldn't take the time off touring to do Utopia, so I had to leave the show after season three, after season two, which was I was devastated and really worried that Rob Sitch would hate me and wouldn't talk to me again. That's since been debunked, thankfully, but. I was terrified. I was just like, oh no. But I couldn't not tour. So it was because I was really trying to build momentum in stand up. But it was, I love those guys.
Yeah, I would go like I was in high school when that was on and would be going to parties. And so we'd get to the party and I would go to whatever parent, because it was always like a kid's, someone that we went to school with party. And I would
Yeah.
go up to the parents and say, now, hey, there's this show I want to watch on Channel 2 at whenever it was like 10:30 or 9:30. If I could watch it, I will not I'll just sit there and not make a noise, but can you please let me watch the show? And so so we'd go in and sometimes I'd have a friend with me and we'd watch it and then we'd go, all right. Cause all the parties are always out the back or something. But it always when we go to a party on a Saturday night, it was as soon as I got there before, I was still of sound, mind and body is just be as polite as possible and ask for access to can I go watch this show on the ABC at I think
It was gold. Piss Week World, and when Tony Martin and Mick Malloy started heckling people at work because they'd been heckled at their show.
oh yeah.
I just loved it. I loved it so much.
And stacks of slacks and
Yeah.
I was actually Jackie got me this book about Melbourne ghost signs. Do you know what a ghost sign is?
Ghosts, like a signs of ghosts, or is it something else? No.
Perfect, Luke. No, it's old painted signs that have faded, from old tea companies and stuff. And I'm sort of fascinated with old Melbourne, and they had one of the buildings featured was the job warehouse. Remember they dressed up as a horse and tried to go in to the shop on Swanston Street with all the fabric on it, kind of opposite Splay.
Yeah.
But that was in it. Do you remember that? They're it was just a shop of all fabrics, and it was Mick Malloy and Tony Martin, and they were trying to interview the guy in there, and the guy didn't want, and they kept going in there, and then they dressed up as a horse or something. But apparently, it used to be a butcher's back in the 1800s. So there you go.
Right. One of my favorite things about Melbourne is because it's it's not cheap to be in the CBD. I'm always fascinated by stores where I'm just like, how do you afford to be here? Surely you can't make enough money to stay in the CBD just selling old lights or something. There'll be a store that just sells fabric or something like that. I'm just like, this is so niche. I get that it needs to exist, but how on earth are you going? They're always empty and you can't tell if they're open or not.
I feel like this is a very organic way to plug my shop.
Oh yes, go for it.
I've got a shop in the city.
The whole thing could be your yeah,
but you do.
skate. I don't. I can't. It does. If you sell video games, if you open an EB Games, I've been there every day, mate.
I'll organize. You can go in and get a hoodie, and then you can at least keep warm. So
I would
but
love that.
theshorestore.com, everyone. It's it was just so weird how you like going, I don't know how shops stay afloat in the city, and I'm like, oh buddy, tell me about it. It's
Have you franchised into the States yet? Are you
we're working on it. We're working on it. This is a weird thing from that original episode was we were talking about that. There was that show called The Slap. Remember Alex Dimitriades like slapped a kid or something, and
whether he hit someone else's kid for being misbehaved or something. Yeah.
And we're talking about punishing, right? And you said, which is just so like it's very bizarre. You're like, I'm not sure how I'd punish my children, but I'm definitely going to show them Ghostbusters. Have you shown them Ghostbusters? Maybe not the 4-month-old.
No, not yet. I'm excited though. I've got I bought both my children like little mini proton packs and stuff. Like I got them into it early, and then punishing. I find it that because my dad just used to hit me, and we don't hit in our household, and so luckily the kids so far.
For those listening just to the podcast version, he did wink when he said that.
If you can obviously cut it a bit where I wink. No, but I was talking to my kids about it the other day because I said we don't. I remember that they were doing something like they went into the dishwasher or something, and I was talking to them because they're old enough that I can sort of talk to them about it. So I just said, "Look, I don't like full disclosure. I don't really have a backup plan if you say no. Like I'll feel sad, but if you don't want to do, but they said, oh, I have to do it because you told me. I'm like, yeah, but if you don't do something, if you say to me, I'm not doing it, I don't really have anything to fall back on other than my disappointment. So
no, what are you doing?
What are you doing? I do appreciate
that's like it's like Dorothy seeing behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. You can't.
No, I can't. I need them to know that they've got an out. So
no, that's the whole thing about like once you're a parent, you realize it's just like, oh yeah, they got no clue. It's all this illusion. Like you think when
it's a lot of bluffing. It's a lot of bluffing.
Yeah, you think you're like part of some parent cabal or like you've got some sort of like the International Association of Parents, but it's just like you're just making up these rules and giving out these jobs willy-nilly.
My parents.
I hope my son doesn't hear this. Actually,
it's too late. My brother was stealing money out of my piggy bank, and Mum and Dad said to him, "If you keep doing that, you'll go to jail." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that'll be so good. I'll get rid of him." And so I started leaving money around, leading to the piggy bank, to try and get him to go to jail. And he never went. The police never came.
I thought you were going to
cost me dollars.
I thought you were going to say that's what inspired you to get into superannuation.
Oh no.
You're like I need a safer place for my money.
Right, Super's mate. I was working during the financial crisis. Super's it's not safe. It's I don't know if we've got time to go into that rabbit hole, but yeah, I've got strong super opinions.
Oh, so with you moved to Melbourne, and so you did move to like it was like you didn't move to like get higher up in the superannuation world. It was for comedy, yeah. Well, that was your goal.
Yeah. So I'd done about a year and a bit in Tassie, just doing stand up, and I figured I've got to get out of here if I'm going to make a living out of this.
So it couldn't have worked out any better. You have to be pretty happy with how it went.
I'm very happy with how it went. Yeah, it's if like there's so many things that have happened that when I was struggling with it, I would have said if I can just get this, I'll be happy. And all lies, obviously. Oh, no, is anyone ever happy? But it's but yeah, there's a like the TV show with Celia and the fact that I can fill a theater that big, like it's yeah, very grateful.
How did you do the material? How did you work it up? Is there gigs in Newcastle, like open mics, or
Yeah,
like?
the comedy club in Newcastle is really great. They do weekend shows and they do a Tuesday night as well. But there's enough people and tourists coming through that you can just work up an hour in Newcastle. And they'll also do little like trial shows there and stuff as well. So I got lucky. I think if I didn't have that, I think moving a little bit further out would have been hard. But the fact that Newcastle's become like a bit of a satellite city and it's got a club that's big enough to work up material is yeah, it's great. I don't need to leave Newcastle to come up with a new hour.
Oh, that's insane. When you rock into the club, are you like the Dave Hughes of Newcastle? Like, are you like the?
If I am, everyone's hiding that from me. I don't like I haven't been like I'll still go to the bar and say, am I allowed to get a free drink? Like it's not yeah, I don't
But that's
there's
because you're
no
you.
yeah, maybe, but there's no like there's no red carpet, you know. I still have to use the stairs like everyone else. It's it's yeah, it's
Did you hang out there for 7 months before you asked for a gig?
no, I was I think I sent him an Instagram message, and I sent it on Instagram because I'm like, they'll see you got a few followers. So use, use that blue tick prowess.
Wow, that is sick because when I read your like the bio on your I always love reading people's comedy festival, the little blurb, whatever,
Oh
on
yeah,
the website.
the thing we've got to write a million years before we finish writing the show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you said like, you got, oh my God, you wrote it and you didn't even mention the third kid. That's why I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's it. They were still cooking. They were early days.
Um, and then you're in Newcastle. I was like, oh man, how do you come up with an hour of material? Like, but that is very lucky. What's the comedy club in Newcastle called?
I think it's just called the Newcastle Comedy Club.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's easy to find in the yellow pages, you know.
The so how did you team up with Celia? Like how did you how did you
Um,
decide you were going to work together?
we were so we got along so well on Utopia that and our banter made us laugh a lot, and so we arrogantly thought we should put some of this on TV. We we were just very good at we were surprised, you know, how you find someone and you just banter with them extremely comfortably. That was Seals and I, and so we just and then ABC was sort of looking for a new comedy show, and uh we was both starting. Seals had started earlier than me. She was already a lot more established, but we were both sort of growing, and so yeah, we just we pitched about 6 shows before we got Rosehaven up, but but yeah, it was really good timing, and then we just got along really really well.
Yeah, yeah. What were some of your other ideas?
The first one we pitched was about a guy who rang a psychic hotline, and the person on the other end of so I was the guy who rang the psychic hotline, and Celia was the psychic, but they weren't actually a psychic. They were just someone who was just reading from a script, just as a little money earner. But everything they were saying to me was coming true. And then we had some made up weird reason why they had to move in together. It got rejected in about. We spent so much time on that one, and then
That
I think it got rejected within about 11 seconds.
that sounds a bit like the Seinfeld he
Got
gets.
Butler for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. I remember that's all we had, and then the head of ABC Comedy at the time goes, "What else you got?" And we're like, "Heaps. Let us get back to you." Yeah, it was very. Well, I think it was the second meeting where we brought a Rosehaven. It was just like we spent ages on that psychic show, and then on Rosehaven we just like had half a page, and that was the one that got up.
And so, do you have any? Are your parents like real estate agents in Tasmania or anything like that? Or
Yeah, mum and dad both worked in real estate. Mum's a property manager, and dad, mum what was mum's retired now. And dad's in sales, so we had a lot of stories to draw upon. And Celia's from a small town, so we just sort of combined her small town stories with my real estate stories, and then that's how we made the show, basically.
got you. And you're not a couple in the show, are you?
No, we were going to be, and it was part of the script writing with ABC was that they really wanted us to hook up. And so we were going to hook up or hold hands or something around episode 4, and then we
Was
pushed it
that
to the end of
super
the season. Then we
awkward?
said, "Well, let's have that as a little teaser for episode for season 2." And then we got to season 5, and we still hadn't hooked up, and they were just friends. And we were just like, we're just going to be friends. But we had to show them that that would work before they would sort of allow it to. Like they were. And we thought too. We thought these should go. Like when
So
we
yeah,
first started writing, we were a married couple. But then we just slowly realized, we got some really good advice to say, well, don't be married, show you're getting together. But then but the show just became like Seals and I's relationship in real life, which is just two best friends who happen to be with two best friends with different genitals.
and so how was like is running a TV show, is that harder than you thought, easier? I've done like a bunch of work like on background I started doing here just to sort of actually get paid to work on other things because you get so
Yeah,
much debt.
right.
Like on the big shows here. Did you know I was in Star Wars?
Yeah, you talked about it on the podcast, right? We
Yeah,
had
so I
like
was
which is insane. Like that's the dream. It's
yeah,
awesome.
so I like we worked out like all the code names to get on Obi-Wan Kenobi and how to apply to be a backgrounder. And it was just like it was just staggering. Like just to be on because it was like a set. Like it was in
Yeah,
a like an old quarry and they'd built like an entire Tatooine town. And we're just down there every
crazy.
day playing Star Wars with Ewan McGregor. I would literally be like, I'm awake, yeah. Like it was just, and it was during COVID as well, and
Oh
so
wow.
no one was doing anything, and then I couldn't tell anyone I was doing the show, and so I was sort of like, is this real? Like it just seems so unrealistic, but
So do you have a speaking role, buddy? Were you, if I go back and
oh
watch it, are you,
oh
or if I go back and watch it, can I see you at any point?
yeah, you can see me, but no speaking role. That's we're just glorified cardboard cutouts. Um, the
Handsome one.
and yeah, they're trying to get rid of they're trying to scan people out of existence, but so I just went just to like get on the Star Wars set, and then I was like, oh, these like people that are doing this background stuff, they all seem to know each other from other shows and
Yeah, right.
they've got so much free time during the day. And so I was working on like my shop back home and stuff. And so I was like, oh, I could just get paid. And it was like a catered WeWork where
Yeah,
like
it's
because you might get paid to be there for like 14 hours, but you're only doing like 2-3 hours work a day. And
yeah,
so you
and they take
just
care of your meals, and you can get your laptop out. It's great.
so but like obviously that's very like highfalutin compared to doing a show in like how many extras would you what was your biggest extra day on Rosehaven?
Actually, now that I think about it, I did remember seeing you on your laptop during the final fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. It was oh, we had a day where we had maybe 70 extras for a like
Oh,
a
that's quite a few.
carnival, like a fair scene. Yeah, the hardest part about it was the show was very driven by Sills and I's mood. And so the thing I found a little hard was that you kind of have to be the happy one on set because you need everyone else sort of people are looking to you for you know how if it's really shit outside, like how are you handling it? If it's
Hmm.
raining, how are you
That,
handling it? So you kind of had to it
that,
was
that
which
sounds
was tricky because I
that sounds a
oh,
lot
sorry you
like
go.
that sounds a lot like being a dad, actually.
It's very similar, yeah. You because I was very grateful that we were getting to do it. But yeah, it was exhausting. I had a panic attack on stage at one point where I just started hyperventilating because we had to get this line that I'd written for myself that was too long and I couldn't remember. I was getting self-conscious and I had to just sort of run off set, sit down, lower my heart rate and then get back out there. And it was intense. We were doing like 12, 14-hour days, like 7 weeks. Um so Rosehaven's a really calm, so that people have said, which I'm very grateful for, that they like to watch it when they're hungover. But the actual onset experience of filming it was really intense. Sills and I were in pretty much every scene, and would be there from morning till late. And Sills was even earlier than me because she had to get early to do makeup. I being a guy, didn't have to be there as early as Celia. So yeah, it was intense. I loved it, but it was intense, and especially when all the extras are there too, because you want to say hi to them and make sure they're okay. And if there's a tiny bit of rain, you have to all sit to the side for 40 minutes, and you just got 70 people waiting around. Yeah.
And were you ever just like, are people going to watch this on TV? Like,
Oh yeah. Every episode, every season, I'd be like, God, I hope people still tune in. Happy to do this again. It was the fear never went away. And look, it's TV, so you don't the ratings. As a former data analyst, I know how inaccurate the ratings are. So and the you might get some feedback on Twitter or something, but once it was out there, you didn't really get to hear people's reaction, other than sort of what you could find online, and you didn't always want to go looking because you might find something bad. So it was, but then later, maybe a better restaurant or something, I had to hear from someone, I really love Rosehaven, which is lovely, but it was just so much work, and then you sort of just put it out there into the ether and let it go.
th- th-
At least with stand up, you get to hear the reaction on the day.
yeah, there must have been Gringo letters about it.
I hope so. Maybe I wrote some from my burner account, but my burner letter account.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I've been told I should like I had like a really bad thing happen at the start of the year. Like I don't know how much I should say because
I guess you can always cut it out. You
there's
can.
some legal issues, but
Oh right.
I was like I was in a fast food restaurant and I got beaten up pretty badly.
Oh what?
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. And like
What happened, buddy? Was it by the staff or was it by customers or?
it was not by the staff.
Okay, good.
But
You can be
yeah,
very
so
rude. You're famously very rude to wait staff and
I
low paid
actually
workers.
I actually pride myself on how polite I am to service staff actually.
Exactly what someone would say to cover their tracks. And for the record, Steele winked at the camera just then.
that old trick. Um but anyway, and like a whole like cracked skull, like it was pretty it was pretty full on. So I've sort of like seeing like therapists and stuff, and
Mate,
so
how did
I've
it start? Were you one of
I,
many who
I
got beaten up?
no, just me, but
Just tell me privately, and then you just cut it out of the podcast.
um they were they were sort of just in there looking for trouble.
All right.
Yeah.
And they said, "Let's fucking hit on the handsomest man in the shop right now," and that was you.
Yeah, right. It's I did not look handsome by the end of it. I can tell you that much. I've still got, I don't know if you can see, I've still got like bags under my eyes, like from the bruising. But
Oh, mate, I'm so sorry.
it,
That's awful.
it might just look like I'm
At least you've got
tired.
the wonderful American health system to fall back on. To
Yeah, right. It's oof. But the but yeah, so one of my doctors was sort of like, I should, you got to interact with more people, because I haven't been able to drive for like 3 months and stuff. And
yeah,
so
right.
I was sort of like, oh, I should, like, I just like thought I'll do these episodes, like I'll do 10 episodes, and I will just like reconnect with people and just have a chat. And because I just hadn't even been talking to people, like, do you know what I mean? Like I was sort of just in my own little bubble. So
Yeah.
there's sort of no real point to this, but if people like it, then they can, I don't know, they can watch it or listen to it and all that sort of stuff.
I think it's good, mate, because it's even if this goes nowhere, it's momentum, right? Like you've got to. It's how you get back into it. The hardest part is starting, and you've done that. So I think it's
Yeah.
and
I
going back through your original 10 guests is really fun.
yeah, and I sort of like I miss the podcast, I don't know, the vibe of it or something. There's something about it that I miss. I'm not particularly, I don't like where podcasting has gone as a whole. Like I feel like it got ruined.
You don't want to
I,
start a right-wing weightlifting podcast to
I have got an idea for one though that's very
excellent.
that's LA centric.
I've got to run, sorry, soon, buddy, just because it's my media day today. So I've only
Well,
got a
this
small
is
window.
this is very important media, Luke.
It's true. It's going to sell a lot of tickets. So I should, yeah.
The well, you do have 1,000 to sell. How are ticket sales, by the way?
Very good. I think this weekend is now sold out. Uh, yeah, better than I did. I did the comedy theater last time, like 8 years ago, and they're selling faster than back in the day.
Well, you've built up
Uh,
demand.
the
This is
secret is
like
just to wait 8 years.
this is like
Um,
tantric ticket sales.
right. Edging. The showbiz edging. Yeah, I'll have to Google what edging means and make sure that joke works. But they're going very well.
That's
Very
awesome,
good.
man.
Thank you,
Well,
buddy.
yeah, thanks for doing the little pod and catching up and all that sort of
Matt, it was
stuff.
lovely
And
just talking to you.
uh,
The fact that we record a podcast is a little bonus.
yeah, well, I don't know. The pod. I think it's like my failing is that like doing the podcast was how I became friends with comedians, because it was like an excuse to meet up, not at a gig, and so I'm sort of using that as a way to catch up with people.
Do you catch up
Because
with any of the
what
Aussies over there? Do you catch up with Ronnie or Aaron Chen or who else is over there at the moment? Do you ever see anyone?
I see Ronnie when he's in town and he has time. Well, we were in New York, I think last year, and we hung out a fair bit.
Yeah.
And oh, you'll enjoy this. He's taken me to a few Marvel premieres as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I would enjoy that a lot.
The
Yeah, that's very cool.
so where he's quite the big time. He's like you at the Newcastle Comedy Club when he rocks into one of those Marvel premieres. So
Yeah, I'd seen him in Shang-Chi was the dream. I think I started yelling out to the cinema I was in, I know that guy. We follow each other on Instagram, no big deal. Huh?
well, we went to I don't know, like Doctor Strange 2 premiere or something, or maybe we've been to that one. We went
Oh
to
yeah,
Guardians 3. But anyway, we're at this after party, and I haven't seen Shang-Chi.
it's really good.
I was hanging out with
Yeah.
some of his friends, and they were so nice. And then like I was in like a toy shop a week later or something, and I was looking at the figures, and I sent a photo to Ronnie, and I'm like, "Is this your friend we were with the other night?" And it was like Shang-Chi's sister or something. It was
Amazing.
very highfalutin. So I do see Ronnie whenever, but he's in and out, and he's very busy. But he does he's still very Ronnie, and he got us into pickleball as well. Very competitive.
Oh, great. Yeah, he's killing it over there. I'm a big fan of the Daily Show, so I feel like I see him all the time. He's just smashing it. But yeah, buddy, I'm sorry I'm sorry I haven't been there to protect you. I was your bodyguard in Melbourne, and as soon as you moved away, this happened.
I appreciate that. But yeah, thanks for catching up with us. I do yeah, I'm very proud of all you've done. I'm really happy for you. You I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm at your funeral now.
I was going to tell you that I'm dying, but aren't we all? Well, mate, I will see you next time I'm in LA. I don't know when that'll be, but and also feel free to call for friendship non-podcast related.
Yeah.
Chats.
If I keep doing, I don't know if I can commit to that. But if I keep doing this past 10, you are on again. So then we'll have another. So that's the other thing. I like doing the guest thing from the previous thing, because it's like I don't have to decide who to call. Like that's like a whole anxiety like gone. It's just like, oh, there's two people that I get like.
Just double check none of us have been cancelled, I guess, and then give the call. Just do a quick Google search.
How do you Google that? That's very interesting. Well, maybe we'll find out in retrospect.
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually I just did a Nazi salute outside of town hall. So you're going to come down. You're going to go down with me. So
thanks, Luke. Enjoy the comedy festival, and we'll chat sooner than last time.
yeah, I agree. You still look well, buddy. You're looking beautiful. And best to the family. Say hi to Jackie for me.
I will.
I will see you. I have no idea when, but sooner than last time.
In 7 years.
I'll see you in 7 years, buddy.